Hello, my name is Ariel. I teach English at Bookish English. Before we start, I want to know why you are learning English. Please write your reason in the comments below. Let's begin the story. Part 1. Arriving in New York. My name is Maria. I am from Spain. I came to New York to learn English. I was excited but also nervous. I had never been here before. When I arrived at the airport, I felt many things. The city was big and noisy. I took a taxi to my new apartment. The buildings were tall and many people were walking. When I got to my apartment, I met my roommate. Her name is Anna, and she is from Brazil. Anna is learning English too. We became good friends quickly. We were happy to have each other in the new city. The next day, I went to my language school. It was not far, so I walked. The streets were busy. I saw many things. There were food sellers, people rushing, and tourists taking pictures. At school, I met my teacher, Ms. Parker. She was very kind. In our class, there were students from different countries. I met Hiroshi from Japan, Maria from Mexico, and Ahmed from Egypt. We all wanted to learn English. Ms. Parker asked each of us to introduce ourselves. When it was my turn, I felt shy. I took a deep breath and said, "Hello, my name is Maria. I am from Spain. I am here to learn English." Everyone smiled. Ms. Parker said, "Welcome, Maria. We are happy to have you here." After the introductions, Ms. Parker talked about our course. She said we would learn English by using it every day. We would speak, listen, read, and write in English. She told us that mistakes are part of learning. "Do not worry about mistakes," she said. In the afternoon, we practiced speaking in pairs. I worked with Hiroshi. We talked about our countries and why we came to New York. Hiroshi said he liked anime and wanted to work in animation. I told him I like reading books and want to be a writer. Even though we made mistakes, we helped each other and learned new words. After school, Anna and I explored the neighborhood. We found a small park. We sat on a bench and talked about our first day. Anna liked the class. I agreed. We felt more confident about learning English. In the evening, we cooked dinner together. We made pasta. While we cooked, we practiced English. "Pass me the salt, please," Anna said. "Here you go," I replied. We laughed and enjoyed our meal. The next day, we had a listening exercise in class. Ms. Parker played a recording of a conversation. We had to listen carefully and answer questions. At first it was hard, but Ms. Parker played the recording again. Each time, I understood a little more. After that, we had a reading activity. Ms. Parker gave us a short story. It was about a girl who moves to a new city. It reminded me of my own story. We read the story and talked about it. Ms. Parker asked questions to help us understand. Later, we did a writing exercise. We wrote about our favorite place in our home country. I wrote about a beach near my town. It has golden sand and clear blue water. Writing was hard, but I was proud of my work. After school, Anna, Hiroshi, and I went to a coffee shop. We wanted to practice speaking English outside of class. We ordered our drinks in English and found a table. We talked about our day and plans for the weekend. It was fun and helped us feel more comfortable using English. On Saturday, Anna and I visited famous places in New York. We took the subway to Times Square. It was amazing. The lights and big screens were so exciting. We took many pictures and bought souvenirs. Then, we visited Central Park. It was nice to walk there. We saw people jogging, walking dogs, and having picnics. We sat on a bench and talked about our families. It was a good way to practice English. In the afternoon, we went to the Museum of Modern Art. The art was interesting. We tried to read the information about the paintings in English. Some words were new, but we helped each other understand. On Sunday, I studied. I wanted to review what I learned in class. I read English books and watched a movie with subtitles. I also wrote in my journal about my experiences in New York. Writing helped me remember new words. In the evening, Anna and I cooked dinner again. This time we made tacos. We talked about our plans for the week. Anna wanted a part-time job to practice her English. I agreed. I decided to look for a job too. The next day at school, Ms. Parker taught grammar. We learned about verb tenses. It was hard, but Ms. Parker explained it well. We did exercises to practice. I felt more confident using tenses in my sentences. In the afternoon, we did a speaking activity. We pretended to be in different situations, like at a restaurant. I worked with Maria from Mexico. We practiced ordering food. It was fun and helped us with real-life conversations. After school, Anna and I went to the job center. We looked at job listings and asked for advice. They said working in a cafe or store would be good for practicing English. We filled out job applications and gave our contact information. That evening, I called my family in Spain. I told them about my life in New York. They were happy I was doing well. I missed them, but I was learning a lot. In the next days, we had more grammar lessons, listening exercises, and speaking activities. I could feel my English improving bit by bit. I practiced every day, even outside of class. One day, Ms. Parker asked us to give short presentations about our countries. I was nervous but prepared well. I talked about Spain, its culture, and famous landmarks. My classmates liked it. I felt proud. On Friday, Anna and I got a call from a cafe. They wanted to interview us for part-time jobs. We were excited and nervous. We practiced answering interview questions in English. The next day, we went for the interview. The manager, Lucy, was kind. She asked us why we wanted to work at the cafe. I said I wanted to improve my English and learn more about American culture. Anna said the same. Lucy liked our answers and gave us a chance. She offered us a trial period. Anna and I were so happy. We thanked Lucy and agreed to start next week. That evening, we celebrated. We cooked a special dinner and invited our friends. We talked about our new jobs and experiences in New York. It was a fun evening. I felt grateful. New York was big and busy, but it gave me chances to learn. I knew there would be challenges, but I was ready for them. My journey in New York was just beginning. I was excited to see what I would learn and achieve next. Chapter 2. The next week was busy. Anna and I started our new jobs at the cafe. We were nervous, but we were also excited. The first day at work, Lucy showed us how to take orders. She explained how to use the register to charge customers. We learned how to make coffee and serve food. At first, it was hard to understand everything. The customers spoke quickly, and we were not sure what they wanted. but we tried our best. Lucy was patient and helped us when we needed it. She smiled and said, "You're doing great." By the second day, we felt more comfortable. We learned the names of the different drinks and how to ask for their orders. "Would you like milk with that?" Or, "Do you want it to go?" became part of our routine. We also practiced saying thank you and have a nice day in English. During our breaks, Anna and I sat together in the back. We talked about our day and what we had learned. "I am getting better at understanding the customers," Anna said. "Me too," I replied. "It's still hard, but I feel more confident." One day, a customer asked me for a muffin. I didn't understand at first. I thought she said, "coffee." But then I remembered the menu, and I quickly corrected myself. "I'm sorry, you wanted a muffin, right?" I asked. The customer smiled and said, "Yes, thank you." That small mistake taught me something important. It was okay to make mistakes as long as I learned from them. Every day at work, I was getting better. After work, Anna and I walked home together. We liked to talk about our day and practice new words. Today, I learned some new words for food, Anna said. I learned the word latte. "Oh, I also learned that word," I said. "It's a type of coffee." We laughed and continued walking. It was fun to practice together. The next weekend, we had a day off. Anna and I decided to go to the beach. We took the subway to Coney Island. It was a long ride, but we didn't mind. We were excited to see the beach. When we arrived, the beach was beautiful. The sun was shining, and the sand was warm. We walked along the water and talked about our families. "I miss my mom," Anna said. "I miss my friends in Spain," I said. But we also felt happy. We were learning new things, and we were making good memories. After a while, we sat down on a bench to rest. There were many people at the beach. Some were swimming, some were playing volleyball, and others were just relaxing. We watched them for a while. Then we decided to get some food. We walked to a nearby stand that sold hot dogs. "Do you want ketchup on yours?" the vendor asked. I was a little nervous, but I said, "Yes, please." Anna ordered the same. We ate our hot dogs and enjoyed the view of the ocean. We talked more about our work and what we wanted to do in the future. "I think I want to work in a cafe forever," Anna said. "It's fun, and I'm getting better at speaking English." "I want to be a writer," I said. "I want to write books in English one day." After the beach, we went back to the apartment. We were tired, but happy. The next day, we went to class. We learned more about English grammar. It was hard, but we tried our best. Ms. Parker gave us some homework. We had to write a short story in English. It was about a time we learned something new. I wrote about my first day at the cafe. I wrote how I felt nervous, but also proud of myself for trying. At the end of the week, we had a big test in class. It was a little scary, but I studied hard. I went over the lessons, practiced speaking with Anna, and read some books in English. When the test came, I felt ready. After the test, Ms. Parker asked us to talk about our plans. "What do you want to do after you finish learning English?" she asked. I raised my hand and said, "I want to find a better job." I want to speak English well and travel the world, Anna said. Ms. Parker smiled. You are both doing well. Keep practicing, and you will reach your goals. The next few days were busy. At work, we kept practicing our English. We learned new words, and the customers were getting friendlier. One woman told me, "You have a nice smile." It made me feel good. By the end of the week, I felt proud of myself. I had learned so much in just a few weeks. I could speak more English, and I was starting to feel comfortable in New York. I knew I still had a long way to go, but I was not afraid. I had made new friends, found a job, and learned new things. I was ready to face the next challenge. Chapter 3. The next few weeks were full of new experiences. Anna and I kept working at the cafe. We were getting better every day. We learned more about the menu and how to help customers. It felt good to speak English more at work. One day, Lucy asked me to take an order on my own. I was nervous, but I said yes. A man came up to the counter and asked for a coffee. "Do you want milk or sugar?" I asked, remembering what I had learned. The man smiled and said, "Yes, please." I quickly made the coffee and gave it to him. He said, "Thank you." I felt proud of myself. I knew I still had a lot to learn, but I was making progress. After work, Anna and I talked about our day. "I think I'm getting better at speaking to the customers," Anna said. "I feel the same," I replied. "I think I can understand them more now." That evening, we decided to go to a park. We sat on a bench and watched the sunset. The sky was orange and pink. It was beautiful. We talked about our dreams for the future. Anna said she wanted to go back to Brazil one day. I told her I wanted to travel to many places and write stories about them. "I want to see the world," Anna said. "I want to practice my English everywhere." After that, we went to a small restaurant for dinner. It was the first time we had gone out to eat just for fun. We looked at the menu and tried to read the food items in English. The waiter came to our table. "What would you like to order?" he asked. "I'll have the chicken soup," Anna said. I said, "I'll have the salad, please." The waiter smiled and wrote it down. We were happy that we could understand and speak to him in English. After dinner, we went back home and worked on our homework. Ms. Parker gave us a writing exercise about our favorite season. I wrote about summer. I love the warm weather and long days. Anna wrote about winter in Brazil. She said it was not too cold, but she liked the holidays with her family. The next day, Ms. Parker asked us to practice speaking in front of the class. I was nervous, but I wanted to try. I stood up and talked about Spain. I told the class about the food, the beaches, and the culture. I felt a little shy, but everyone smiled and listened. Afterward, Hiroshi gave his presentation about Japan. He talked about the food and famous places like Tokyo Tower. We all enjoyed hearing about each other's countries. That week, Anna and I learned some new vocabulary in class. We learned words for places in the city like museum, library, and restaurant. We also practiced using these words in sentences. "I like to visit museums," I said. Anna said, "I love going to the library to read books." One day after class, we went to the library. It was a big building with many books. We spent some time looking at books in English. I found a book about New York and Anna found a novel she wanted to read. We took the books to the counter and asked the librarian how to check them out. She explained everything in English. At first, I didn't understand all of her words, but she was kind and spoke slowly. I smiled and thanked her when we were finished. We both felt good because we had practiced our English in a real situation. The next weekend, we decided to visit a museum. We went to the Museum of Natural History. The museum was full of interesting things. There were big dinosaur bones and beautiful rocks. We read the signs in English and tried to understand the information. Some words were hard, but we looked them up in a dictionary. We helped each other understand what we were reading. It was fun, and we learned many new words. On our way home, we stopped at a park to relax. We sat on a bench and talked about the museum. "I like the dinosaurs," I said. "Yes, me too," Anna replied. "I also liked the rocks. They were very colorful." That evening, we went to a small cafe near our apartment. We ordered tea and talked about the week. "I'm feeling more confident now," Anna said. "I can speak English better than before." I agreed with her. "Me too," I said. "I'm learning a lot. It's hard, but I'm happy with my progress." The next day, we had another speaking activity in class. Miss Parker asked us to talk about a holiday in our country. I chose to talk about Christmas in Spain. I told the class about the food we eat and the traditions we have. I was nervous at first, but I spoke slowly and clearly. After my presentation, Ms. Parker said, "Great job, Maria. You spoke very well." I smiled and felt proud. It was another step in my learning journey. In the afternoon, we practiced speaking with our classmates. I worked with Ahmed from Egypt. We talked about our favorite foods. He told me he liked falafel, and I told him I liked paella. It was a nice conversation, and we helped each other with some new words. At the end of the week, we had another test. It was about vocabulary and grammar. I studied hard and felt ready. When the test was over, I felt good. I knew I had done my best. Anna and I celebrated by going to the cafe for a treat. We talked about how much we had learned and how much we still wanted to learn. I knew it would take time, but I was excited about the future. We were on the right path, and I was proud of how far we had come. Chapter 4. The weeks passed quickly, and Anna and I were getting better at our jobs. We had learned many new words and were becoming more confident when speaking with customers. At work, Lucy was always kind and patient with us. She gave us more responsibilities, like making drinks and cleaning tables. It felt good to be trusted. One morning, a customer came to the counter and asked for a cappuccino. I remembered how to make it, but I was still a little nervous. "Would you like it hot or iced?" I asked. The customer smiled and said, "Hot, please." I quickly made the cappuccino and gave it to him. "Thank you," he said. I felt proud of myself for making the coffee correctly. At the end of the day, Anna and I talked about the customer interactions. "I felt good today," Anna said. "I understood everything they said to me." "Me too," I replied. "I think I am getting better at understanding their orders." After work, we went to the park to relax. We liked to talk about our experiences in New York and what we had learned. "I want to visit more places in the city," Anna said. There are so many things to see. I agreed. I want to see the Statue of Liberty and the Empire State Building, I said. The next weekend, we decided to visit the Statue of Liberty. We took the subway to the ferry station. The ferry ride was exciting. We could see the whole city and the big buildings. The water was beautiful and the sky was clear. When we arrived at Liberty Island, we saw the Statue of Liberty. It was bigger than I had imagined. We took many pictures and looked around. There were tourists from all over the world. Some were taking pictures, and others were reading information about the statue. We walked around the island and learned about its history. It was interesting to know that the statue was a gift from France to the United States. We read about how the statue represents freedom and hope for many people. We even climbed up to the pedestal to get a better view of the city. After we left Liberty Island, we went to a nearby cafe. We ordered sandwiches and talked about the statue. I didn't know it was a gift from France, Anna said. It's amazing. Yes, it is, I replied. I'm glad we came here today. The next week, Ms. Parker gave us a new lesson about past tense. She taught us how to talk about things we did in the past. It was a little hard, but she explained everything clearly. We practiced by talking about our weekend plans. I said, I went to Liberty Island with Anna. We saw the Statue of Liberty. Anna said, I went to the park and relaxed. I also watched a movie. After practicing, we did some writing exercises. We had to write about something we did last week. I wrote about the day I visited the Statue of Liberty. I wrote, I took the ferry to Liberty Island. I saw the big statue. It was amazing. Anna wrote about going to a concert with her friends. She said, I enjoyed the music. It was a fun day. After class, we went to a coffee shop to practice speaking. We ordered drinks and talked about our week. I feel like I'm improving, Anna said. I can speak more easily now. I agreed. Yes, me too. I understand more when people talk to me. The next weekend, we went to a new neighborhood in New York. It was full of small shops and restaurants. We walked around and looked at the stores. We found a small bookshop and decided to go inside. The shop was full of books in English. Anna picked up a book about New York, and I picked up a novel in English. We both wanted to improve our reading skills. We paid for the books and left the shop. Let's read our books tonight, I said. I'll try to understand more words. Anna smiled. I'll do the same. That evening, we read our books. It was a little difficult, but we helped each other when we didn't understand something. We looked up words in the dictionary and practiced reading out loud. It felt good to be learning new things. The next week, we had a speaking test in class. Ms. Parker asked us to talk about our favorite hobbies. I talked about reading books and writing stories. Anna talked about her love for cooking and trying new recipes. We both felt nervous, but we did our best. After the test, Ms. Parker said, "You both did very well. Keep practicing and you will continue to improve." We both smiled. We were happy with our progress. At work, we kept practicing our English. We learned new phrases and words to help us at the cafe. We also started to understand the customers better. One day, a customer asked for a tea with honey. I remembered what to do and made the tea. The customer said, "Thank you. This is exactly what I wanted." I felt proud again. The weeks went by quickly, and we were both getting better at speaking, listening, and reading in English. We still had challenges, but we kept practicing every day. We knew it would take time, but we were excited about learning more. One evening after work, Anna said, "Do you think we are ready to speak English outside of class?" I thought for a moment. "I think we are," I said. "We just have to keep practicing." Anna smiled. "Yes, let's do it." We were both excited to use our English in more real-life situations. We knew that learning English was a journey, but we were ready for the next step. Chapter 5. The next week, we decided to be more brave and speak English outside of class. We wanted to practice with people we met in the city. One afternoon, we went to a small cafe near our apartment. We decided to talk to the waiter in English. When we entered, the waiter smiled at us. "Hello, how can I help you?" he asked. Anna and I looked at each other. We were a little nervous, but we took a deep breath. "I'll have a coffee, please," Anna said. "And I would like a sandwich," I said. The waiter nodded and wrote it down. "Anything else?" he asked. We both smiled and said, "No, thank you." When the waiter brought our food, I said, "Thank you very much." He smiled and replied, "You're welcome. Enjoy your meal." We both felt happy because we spoke to him in English. After that, we walked around the city. We wanted to explore more and practice speaking with others. We saw a small bookstore, so we decided to go inside. It was quiet, and there were many books in English. I looked at the shelves. "I want to buy a book," I said. Anna nodded. "Me too. Let's find something easy to read." We both picked up books with simple stories. I found a book about New York, and Anna found a book about cooking. We went to the counter to pay for the books. The cashier smiled at us. "How are you today?" she asked. "We are good, thank you," Anna said. "How about you?" The cashier smiled. "I'm great. Thanks for asking." We paid for the books and thanked her. "Have a nice day," she said. "You too," I replied. Later, we went to a park and sat on a bench. We started reading our books. It was not easy, but we helped each other when we didn't understand some words. We used our phones to look up new words. We learned a lot of new vocabulary. In the evening, we decided to go to a restaurant. We wanted to try speaking more English, so we chose a restaurant with a menu in English. The waiter gave us the menu, and we started reading it. "What do you want to order?" Anna asked. "I think I'll have pasta," I said. "I'll have pizza," Anna replied. When the waiter came, I said, "I would like pasta, please." Anna said, "I'll have pizza." The waiter smiled and wrote it down. When our food came, we thanked the waiter. We ate our meals and talked about the day. "I'm getting better at reading the menu in English," Anna said. "Me too," I replied. "And I feel more confident speaking with the waiters." The next week, we went to a job fair. There were many people looking for work. We wanted to practice speaking English with people who were hiring. We walked around and talked to some employers. One man asked us, "What kind of job are you looking for?" I said, I want to work in a bookstore. Anna said, I would like to work in a cafe. The man smiled and said, Good luck. We met many people, and we spoke with them in English. We felt a little nervous at first, but we were proud of ourselves for trying. That evening, we sat together in the apartment and talked about the job fair. I feel like I can speak better now, Anna said. I'm not as scared to talk to strangers anymore. I smiled and agreed. Me too. It feels good to speak more English every day. At work, things were also going well. Lucy gave us more responsibilities. She trusted us to make drinks and serve customers. One day, a customer came in and asked for a latte. Do you want it hot or iced? I asked. Hot, please, the customer said. I made the drink and gave it to him. The next day, Lucy asked me to help train a new worker. Her name was Sarah, and she was from Canada. I showed her how to make the drinks and how to talk to customers. It was fun, and I learned even more by teaching Sarah. That weekend, we decided to visit Central Park. We took the subway and arrived in the afternoon. The park was busy. People were jogging, walking their dogs, and having picnics. We sat on a bench and watched people. We talked about our plans for the future. I want to go to more places in New York, Anna said. Me too, I replied. There is so much to see and do. Later, we decided to walk around the park. We saw a group of people doing yoga. We wanted to join, but we were too shy. We laughed and kept walking. After the walk, we went to a nearby cafe to rest. We ordered tea and sat down by the window. I'm happy we are here, Anna said. Yes, me too, I replied. It's nice to take a break and enjoy the city. The next day, we had another speaking activity in class. Ms. Parker asked us to talk about a place we would like to visit. I chose the beach, and Anna chose a big city in Brazil. We both spoke slowly and clearly. Ms. Parker said, Great job, both of you. After class, we went to a library to borrow more books. We wanted to practice reading more. Anna found a book about cooking, and I found a book about travel. We took the books home and started reading. At night, we worked on our homework. Ms. Parker gave us a writing exercise about our favorite memories. I wrote about my first day in New York. Anna wrote about a family trip to the mountains in Brazil. We were both proud of our work. We knew that every day we were learning and improving. It wasn't always easy, but we were making progress. We felt more confident and excited for what would come next.